This video is sponsored by Win-Win Technology, your ultimate flight sim hardware solution, featuring the Orion hotels, current and future configurations.
Hello valued viewers, we hope you're all doing wonderfully well. If you have enjoyed our ongoing naval battle series, then you are going to love this. This is our brand new series. It's our WarGames series, and this is Battle 1, or Video 1, Taiwan versus China, or to be more precise, could Taiwan defend itself from what we would consider a realistic first strike from China? Before we go into any details, let's look at the geopolitics. Back on the 6th of October, this happened. BBC website, record number of China planes enter Taiwan air defense zone. So let's read about this a little bit. You've got a picture of a H-6 Chinese Badger refueling some J-10s, which is interesting. Taiwan has urged Beijing to stop irresponsible, provocative actions after a record number of Chinese warplanes entered its air defense zone. Monday's incursion marks the 4th straight day of incursions by Chinese aircraft, with almost, 150 sent into Taiwan's defense zone in total. So we need to understand what Taiwan's defense zone is, I guess, for this to make sense, but let's carry on. And that is a lot of aircraft, to be fair. Some analysts say the flights could be seen as a warning to Taiwan's president ahead of the island's National Day. Beijing views Taiwan as a breakaway province. That's at the heart of this, obviously. However, democratic Taiwan sees itself as a sovereign state. In an essay for Foreign Affairs magazine on Tuesday, Taiwan's president Tsai Ing-wen warned that there would be a catastrophic consequence for peace and democracy in Asia if the island were to fall to China. It would signal that in today's global contest of values, authoritarianism has the upper hand over democracy, she wrote. Tsai added that while Taiwan did not seek confrontation, Taiwan would do whatever it takes to defend itself. Taiwan has been reporting for more than a year China's Air Force has been repeatedly flying nearby. Incursions into Taiwan's air defense identification zone are on the rise. So we see here a number of aircraft, I'm guessing that is, and the date, and we've got a steady increase peaking recently. The latest Chinese mission included 34 J-16 fighters, these are the flankers, two-seater flankers, and 12 nuclear-capable H-6 bombers, which all flew in the area near the Taiwan-controlled Pratas Islands, according to a map provided by the Taiwanese government, which looks all the way over here, but okay. 4 more Chinese fighters were spotted late on Monday, taking their total to 56 aircraft in one day. Taiwan's top China policy-making body, the Mainland Affairs Council, MAC, accused Beijing of seriously damaging the status quo of peace and stability in the Taiwan Strait. We demand that Beijing authorities immediately stop its non-peaceful and irresponsible provocative actions, MAC spokesman said. China is the culprit for causing tensions between the two sides of the Taiwan Strait, and it has further threatened regional security and order, he added, saying Taiwan will never compromise and yield to threats. In response, China accused Washington of being the provocateurs while warning against supporting Taiwanese independence. Engaging in Taiwan independence is a dead end. China will take all steps needed and firmly smash any Taiwan independence plots, the ministry said. Okay. The US should stop supporting and inflating Taiwan separatist forces, it added. Analysts have previously warned that Beijing is becoming increasingly concerned that Taiwan's government is moving the island towards a formal declaration of independence. So let's have a look at this air defense zone. I'm not exactly sure what this says, obviously, but presumably we've got Taiwan here, we've got China here. This, we believe, is the Taiwan Identification Defense Zone. I'm not sure why it goes all the way up into China. I think you guys are going to have to help me out with that one. And presumably these colours here are the different flights of Chinese forces. It appears that they've not gone over Taiwan per se, but up to and possibly slightly past a midway point. So coming from a completely uneducated layman's view, which is me, I can't really see what China have done wrong. They don't appear to have gone into Taiwan's, actual kind of bit, but they have obviously tested the boundaries. So I guess they are being needlessly provocative. And I guess I'll leave it there. Geographically, it appears that mainland China is 180 kilometers, thereabouts, away from Taiwan. That's going to be about 110 miles. It's going to be about 100 nautical miles. Let's see what we can cook up in DCS. This is going to be an extremely complex thing to explain, so please stick with it and don't skip to the boom boom, I suggest, otherwise it's not going to make any sense. What we've got here is our best analog for Taiwan and the selected piece of China. Everything is rotated 120 degrees clockwise to suit the maps that we have available. The blue outline is Taiwan, rotated 120 degrees, and a north line would be roughly where I'm putting my cursor now. That is a realistic size. We are simulating the northern side of Taiwan. It's obviously a big island, well, 250 miles across, 90 miles shortways. The Taiwan Strait is around 100 nautical miles wide, exactly what we've got here from Cyprus to Syria, 100 nautical miles, and here is the coast of China. All over, it makes a pretty decent analog. A very brief overview. China has decided to take Taiwan. The first thing it's going to do is a first strike. That first strike has one task only, and that is to disable the main defensive power of the Taiwanese. We'll go over that in more detail in a bit. You join us at the point at which the Chinese are mobilized, they are approaching their border and are about to head into the strait. At this point, for roleplay purposes, the Taiwanese understand pretty much what's happening. They're just starting to scramble their jets. Some are already airborne. So that's the point at which you join us. Next, let's go into some rough logistics before we get super nerdy. The belligerents. Taiwan Air Force, containing 288 fighters in real life, of a total of 518 aircraft in the entire inventory. That is a mixture of fighters, bombers, support, logistic, EW, and so on. Versus Eastern Theatre Command, the part of China that would be involved in this. China is massive, obviously, absolutely massive, and this will be the part that covers Taiwan. Total of 380 aircraft, all those types again, fighters, bombers, support, EW, logistics, and so on. About 60% of Taiwan's fighting force. Of Taiwan's fighting force that we've considered would be in the area of operations that could respond quick enough and would be QRA ready, with the pilots and the aircraft ready for the scramble, would be thus. First, 48 F-16C Block 50s, what we have in game. They are an analogue for the F-16 Victor variants, of which 42 should have been upgraded by September 2021. It's now October 2021, so presumably the Victors are ready. A Victor is pretty much the same as a Block 70 F-16C. It's not the same as a Block 50 in real life, but in terms of DCS and the capabilities we have, it's really not going to be that different. So our analogue is Block 50s, 48 of them ready to go. Next, 16 F5 Export, which is being an analogue for exactly that. They have 26 F5Es, so that's pretty much half the fighting force there, and we're using pretty much all of their F-16Vs plus some of the F-16As, which have been converted to fire AMRAAM Charlie 5s. And we know that because the guys involved in converting them actually fly for our group, which is weird, I know, but there you go. 16 Mirage 2000-5s, they have 46 spread over the island, so they're just being themselves. We've also got our beautiful humans today. We've got 3 humans who I'm guessing are going to respawn 2 or 3 times. Please say hello, Cortana, Damp, Simba.
How's it going?
Hello.
Howdy.
Hey guys. We've also got 2 times E2 Delta AWACSs. These are an analogue of the E2Ks, of which they have 6 of them total. So it's a third of their supply there. So 88 airframes in total we're using, of the total 518 spread over the island. Well, in fact, we're just looking at fighters really here. So 88 of the total 288. It's about a third of the entire fighting force of Taiwan is what we're using here and ready for this attack, which we consider about realistic. SAMs we'll come back to. Next, Eastern Theatre Command. Of their 380 total aircraft, they are committing 20 HJ6s of what we're using. They're going to be an analogue for H6Ks and other variants. They should all be able to carry the same weapons that we've got here, so that should be realistic. There's going to be 12 times J10As, indigenous fighters. There's going to be 8 times J11 Bravos. There's going to be 8 times J16 Block 7s, very dangerous. There's going to be 1 times KJ2000 AWACS. We're introducing 2 times J20A Stealth Mighty Dragons for this first strike. That's a total of, the first strike, 51 airframes. How did we come across that number? We roughly applied about 60% of that number to that number, and then that's about 60% of that number to that number. So we've roughly done it proportion based on the amount of aircraft that we think they would have available. Next, SAMs. We're not simulating any SAMs for China today. It's just not in the scope of what we're doing. Taiwan has Patriot Pack 2, 7 systems spread over the island, and MIM-23 Hawks, 19 spread over the island. Skybow we're not simulating because we don't have an analogue for it. Skyguard, Switzerland, twin 35mm guns. I'm pretty sure they are 24 of them. So our analogues are, we've got the Patriot Pack 2s. We're using 3 of them today, defending what we consider the main airfields in the north of Taiwan. We're using 5 of the 19 MiG-23s, again defending airfields in the north of Taiwan. We're using 35 Mike Spar Gepards, which we believe are going to be similar to these towed 25mm twin cannons, and we're using them for spot defense. That is our SAMs. So you can see the actual inventory from Taiwan here of the aircraft that we're interested in, and you can see how many we're using in terms of a percentage, and this is going to be important if we do a follow-up to the first strike. We also see the missiles they've got. AIM 120C AMRAAM 636, I believe all purchased from America. Charlie 5s purchased in 2002. Charlie 7s I think purchased in 2017, but I stand to be corrected. AIM 7 Sparrows, but I don't think we're firing any of them today. 960 Mikas, which we are firing. About 2,000 Sidewinders, which we are firing. Sky Swords for the indigenous fighters, we don't have an analogue for them, so Sky Swords are not taking part along with the Skybow, and the indigenous FCK1 is not taking part. And a whole bunch of Magic 2s, which are being used. So that's roughly how many missiles we can carry. We're carrying roughly 90 airframes times 6 to 8 missiles. You know, that is a lot of missiles, hundreds of missiles we're taking out of this inventory of Taiwan. That is an overview of the forces involved today. Next, we need to go into more detail. And I suggest you stick with this because it will make the whole fight make much more sense. So here is the northern end of Taiwan, the area that is in threat. Taiwan don't have to win this fight. Let's talk about roleplay. They don't have to win it. They have to hold out, really. China will beat Taiwan eventually. We all know that. It's got much more forces. But Taiwan, realistically, what would it do? It would try and hold off the first and maybe second strike until CSG-21, the Americans, whatever, could get in and come and give them some assistance. I assume, geopolitically, that's what would happen. So Taiwan just want to survive the first few nights, especially this first strike. So, we're split in 6 bases. Tactical Base 1, Tactical Base 2, Tactical Base 3, Tactical Base 4, Tactical Base 5, Tactical Base 6. These are the bases that are in there within 200 miles of the fighting area. Sorry, 150 miles within the fighting area. They are not positioned realistically. Base 1, we have 2 squadrons of F-16s Victor models. 3 are on the ground, literally ready for scramble because Taiwan knows what's going on. 1 is already in the air patrolling. So 16 aircraft, F-16, AI, max skill, 4 AMRAAM Charlie 5s each, 2 Sidewinder X's, and bags, all ready to go. They're going to charge in and fight to the death and defend the country. That's all they're going to do, okay? Next, this tactical base here. 2 squadrons, 16 aircraft of F-5Es with the realistic weapons that they would have in real life, and that's it. They're going to take off and scramble. Oh, no, correction. 12 are taking off, 5 are airborne, ready to charge in. Done. Next tactical base are my humans. They've got a mixture of Mirage 2000s and F-16s all armed up and ready to go. All they've got to do is taxi their takeoff. And that's my humans. Infinite respawns. But they won't get many because it will be a quick match. Next tactical airbase are 2 squadrons of F-16s again here. Armed up as we saw before. That's 16 aircraft, none airborne, all ready literally to take off at the drop of a hat. Next, Akatori is playing a tactical base down here. Again, 16 aircraft, 2 squadrons of F-16s, armed up as we saw, all ready to take off. And finally, 150 miles away, we've got Paphos here with 2 squadrons, 16 Mirage 2000-5s, armed up with Mika IR, Mika RF, bags, and magics. And that is our fighter force today. Next, AWACS, 2 E2Ds playing E2Ks, roughly in the area. They will play a massive part in today. Next, EWR. 3 EWR sites. They are not the correct type that Taiwan has. They are just the biggest and best I think we get in DCS. Just don't know enough about them. But that's that. These are all linked. Everything's data linked together. Next, SAMs. 3 Patriot Pack 20s. Site 1, already fully equipped, realistically laid out as to what we've been told in terms of how they would rotate, which units would be near which units. This one faces this way, this one faces this way, this one faces this way. Pack 2 there, Pack 2 there. Next, are Hawks. 5 Hawk sites, and I've just put them at the main bases -1. Hawk site, Hawk site, Hawk site, Hawk site, Hawk site, no Hawk site. Next, Gepard. 2 Gepards for each tactical base. That's 12 Gepards. These are going to be shooting missiles down or any fighters that come close. Okay, so Gepards sitting on the runways, basically waiting to defend the runways. Presumably, that's what they're doing in real life. AI logic is simple. All take off as quick as you possibly can and efficiently as you can. Launch yourself into battle in a fan spread and fight to the death. They're set to ace skill, so they will use their SAMnet. They will deliberately try and fight inside the SAMnet like a real obvious fighter would. Next, in fact, my guys, because this is a big, very important match. Any questions about the Taiwanese before I go on to the Chinese?
None for me.
Nope.
Next, we go into the Chinese. This is the first strike with 51 aircraft. First, the Mighty Dragons. The first thing the Chinese we think they would do after this discussion is to send in the Mighty Dragons. These are stealth aircraft. Because they're stealth aircraft, they can get much closer before being detected. Hence, they're starting at about 70 nautical miles, about 80 miles away before there's any chance of detection with the very high-powered radars. They're flying very high, 36,000 feet, and very fast, supersonic. They are in full stealth mode. These are not dogfighters, by the way. They're not fighters in any way. They have no interest in shooting down other fighting aircraft. They're purely here to kill tactical targets. Refuelers and AWACSs. That's all they're built for. They're carrying, and this is where the problems start for the Taiwanese, 4 times PL-15s. These are, I don't know real life, I don't know if anyone knows, but these are the best missiles in DCS that we have at the moment. They are modern Chinese long-range missiles. They have a range of about 160 miles. We've clocked them out. They can be fired on data link, even in the sim as it stands, which means that the plane doesn't even need to see the hostile with his radar. How do we know that? Because we tested it out yesterday. They are basically the best thing ever made, and they're going to be a real problem. They are going to fly in starting at 70 nautical miles. They have one task each, and that's to shoot down each AWACS. That guy goes for that AWACS, that guy goes for that AWACS. They are programmed to not shoot anything else down. They will not get in dogfights. They will not attack Simba and Cortana. They will not attack the indigenous. They will just attack that guy, shoot it down, and fly away if they follow their orders. You never quite know what's going to happen in a mass multiplayer situation. We consider that realistic, and that's that. Next, the beating heart of the attack today. We discussed, within the scope of the units and the stuff that we've got here, what would China try and achieve on a first strike? Well, we think the first thing they would do is take out the operating ability on the north of the island of the fighter planes. There's lots of fighter planes that Taiwan has, more than China in this area, actually. So they want to reduce the fighting ability of the fighter aircraft. They've got 20 H6 naval Badgers, I like to call them. That's not the correct name, but these guys here, built on the Russian Badger. They're split into 4 squadrons. Squadron 1 is 5 units, low altitude, high speed, with this new weapon, the long-range Chinese cruise missile, the KD-20. 6 of them on each, so 6 times 5 is 30. 30 missiles. They are firing at Akatori base, and they are firing at all of the junctions they get onto the runway. Okay, there, and there. And that is going to silence this airfield completely, pretty much. Why have I used the KD-20s for this? Because it's long range, and these guys can't get close enough to fire any conventional ordnance. So they're using these new type weapons, and they're firing all the way from 140 nautical miles, about 160 miles. These missiles will even go further than this. They're super long range missiles. They're not ideal because they're a small warhead. They go a long way because they're a small warhead. They're not going to do a great amount of damage, and so they're suboptimal, but they need to use these because of the long ranges involved. Next, flights 2, 3, and 4, each involving a squadron. 5 bombers. Each bomber of these squadrons 2, 3, and 4 are at 26,000 feet and VMAX. So they've spent their time circling around, getting up to VMAX. They've got plenty of fuel to do this, and they're about to pop over the border. They are having a better weapon for bombing an airfield. If you want to bomb an airfield, use this, the KD-63 Bravo. It's a cruise missile, but it's got a massive warhead, originally derived from, I believe, an anti-ship weapon from the 60s or something like that, like a ton warhead or something. If you want to blow a runway up, use these. It will obliterate the runway. And by the way, this is all modeled in DCS. You watch what happens if these get through, the runway will just be atomized. These ones will make holes in the runway. These ones will atomize the runway. Now, the problem with them, of course, if you're going to lug around a ton warhead, is they don't go very far. They've got 60 nautical miles max firing range, which means that the squadrons 2, 3, and 4 need to get within 60 miles of their respective bases. That's a problem for them. It means that they need to get within that marker there, just in fact outside of the PAC-2 SAM range. So they are vulnerable to Taiwanese defense. So that is the first half of the Chinese offense. Mighty Dragons in, AWACS down. Massive disruption to the Taiwanese fighting force in terms of SA. 5 squadrons of naval badgers are coming in and taking out all the frontline bases. Everything else is supplementary, but here's where it gets interesting. KJ-2000 heading into battle, high altitude, high speed, and is going to be their AWACS. That leaves us with the fighter cover. None of this happens, obviously, without fighter cover. The fighter cover is split into 3 elements after discussion of what we would use. We've left out the J7s of this because we just thought they're not going to be good enough. And would they really use J7s in a first strike as important as this? We're not holding any, as you probably noticed by now, we're not holding any punches. Playing for these guys, we really want to defend. Playing for these guys, we really want to destroy Taiwan as best we can. So, phase 1 of the fighters going absolutely ahead, balls to the wall as fast as they possibly can, what we call the expendable fighters, the indigenous fighters. These are called the J10A. They're actually one of my favourite fighters in real life. I think they're awesome. I know they're indigenous, they're probably not very reliable, the Chinese built, but I think they look so cool. They are armed and tasked with doing one thing, being a MiG-29, going really fast, fighting to the death, and that's pretty much it. Getting missiles in the air, taking stuff off the bombers. They're not air superiority fighters. They are equipped with 4 times SD-10s. I hope you guys listen to this because this is going to depend on your tactics. 4 times SD-10s. These are very potent missiles, roughly equivalent of the AMRAAM Charlie 7. And 2 times PL-10. It's the equivalent of the AIM-9X Sidewinder of the Americans. Some say better, some say worse. So, just to reiterate, it's 36,000 feet. They're already up to speed to over supersonic, and they're just going to charge in and fight to the death, like they probably would in real life. They're kind of expendable. Next, the second wave of the fighting are the flank fighters. The flank fighters are J11 Bravos. These are air superiority fighters. They're not like the J10s. These are going to go in slower and fight more tactically. They have everything set to max skill level, by the way. They have PL-12s, A's. These are increased range and avionics variants of the SD-10. So imagine a AMRAAM Charlie... I don't know, where do you go after Charlie 7? Whatever's between a Charlie 7 and an AMRAAM D, I suppose. I don't know, you're out of my league at this point. 6 of them, and already better missiles than Taiwan's got. And a bunch of PL-8 Bravos, which are actually quite crappy, and I don't know why I've got them, but that's just what they've got. 1 squadron split into 2. That is 8 fighters coming in, pincering from the flank in a tactical move. They're going to go slower than the J10s, but faster than the bombers. The J10s, by the way, there is 12 fighters into 3 groups. And finally, as I have a drink of tea, the creme de la creme, possibly even more dangerous than the J20 Mighty Dragons today, are these guys. The J16 Batch 07. These are guys you do not want to meet in an alley. Trust me. This is something, well, maybe it wouldn't be a Raptor, but they're very good, put it that way. We've got 1 squadron of these coming out. They're 2 piloted, by the way, and they're coming in the rear with the bombers. These are tactical supremacy fighters, defenders. They are not dogfighters. Think of an F-14, I guess, like a fleet defense type. Now, here's the problems, where the problems really start for Cortana, Simba, and Damp. They are equipped with 8 PL-15s. We discussed this roughly with the Mighty Dragons. These are massive. These are like an AMRAAM Delta on steroids, and they're modelled. They will fire on data link. They will fire in China all the way over the sea and into Taiwan. They are that dangerous, and we know that because we've tested it. You can't dodge them. They're so fast when they come down. They're basically the devil's missiles. 8 of them, which are going to be massively problematic, and a couple of PL-10s. They're going to hang around with the bombers, and if they see anyone popping through, to be honest, they will probably just fire straight over the Strait of Taiwan and just dump missiles, just like they would in real life. Fire on data link from the KJ-2000, dump missiles on these fighters, and these fighters will be just obliterated, is what we saw the last time, and the only other time we've used the PL-15. Guys! That is my simulation of a first strike from China on northern Taiwan. Like I said, I've not pulled any punches on both sides. I've done what I thought would be maximum for both sides, being realistic, and the allowable losses and stuff like that. No naval is simulated today because I don't want it. Would it be in real life? I don't know. I don't see why. I don't see why Liaoning would be here. I don't see why the Americans or the British would be here yet. It's just a straight up bout. Predictions, guys. In fact, tactics then predictions, guys. I've been thinking about this. Obviously, I've been running a few sub-simulations from this to see what happens. We've got to think, what are we trying to do here? We're not trying to go in and get air-to-air kills, and to be honest, you won't, because you're not going to be able to fight a Mighty Dragon. You're not going to be able to fight a J-16 in a Block 50, F-16, or a Mirage. What you can do is something useful, though. My suggestion is, I mean, you can have a try looking for the Mighty Dragons. They won't fight you. We know they won't, and we know they probably wouldn't in real life. You can try look for them, but you've got realistic map options, so you'll only see what your data link sees. My suggestion is that you go and are vectored by a GCI onto the missiles, the cruise missiles. The cruise missiles are the only thing that's going to do real damage. They will smash these runways to pieces. The AWACS, if they go down, they can be replaced. We've got 5 more. The fighters, okay, if we lose 90 fighters today, is annoying. You know what? We've got another 200 in the rest of Taiwan. We can fly over overnight. What we really can't afford to do is lose these forward operating bases, which are so tactically important. So I think you guys hold back a bit and be vectored onto missiles, which we will see. Our data link will see these missiles and shoot them down. They're only going to travel at 400 knots. They're long range, they're big warheads, they're slow missiles. If you can shoot them down, whatever happens next really is a win. That's my thoughts. You are free people, can do what you want. Any thoughts or improvements on that?
I'm concerned about the total number of missiles, because each of those H6s has, what, 4 cruise missiles?
You may have, you know what, you may have something on your side here. I'll tell you this, because I don't know if it will work like this, but in practice, they are a little bit buggy. These bombers are new, and they fire them in ripples that are way too close, so the missiles travel around in a big clump. Like, they would never do that in realistic. And what I found is that when trying to blow them up, it would have a chain reaction, and it would blow all 6 up. Obviously, that is unrealistic, but that is a thing you might be able to exploit. You might be able to. I don't know if you can, but you might be able to. Another thing, guys, I have to warn you, the aggression of this fight is going to be something like we've never done. We've done loads of these naval battles and stuff, and they all last for an hour or something like that, right? The reason I've spent so long talking is because the aggression is going to be horrendous, okay? So there's no dilly-dallying at all. The whole fight is over in 10 minutes or something when we timed it, doing various pieces. So it's literally in runway takeoff into combat. There's no messing around at all for this one. So I just want you to be not surprised about how quickly things are going to go. Especially, you know, you're going to have probably 100 PL-15s in the air just diving down on Taiwan in the first 3 or 4 minutes. Everything's going to be atomized. So fly low. If you go high, you can't survive the Chinese onslaught. That's my advice.
Do we know what altitude they're going to be coming in at?
Annoyingly mixed. It won't be high. It will be between. They're both programmed to fly between sea level and about 3,000 feet. So it's all going to be low. Plus, Damp will be able to tell you all of the information. But generally speaking, I expect all these Chinese guys are going to fight high, and Taiwan's going to fight high because they're modern fighters. So if we're down, nipping at their ankles, you might even be able to pop some occasional AMRAAMs and stuff off them. But if we're low, I reckon they'll probably leave you alone. Simba, any thoughts, predictions, or improvements to tactics?
Thinking about maybe weaseling a little bit and trying to create space for Cortana to chase after these launches.
The missiles are slow, like I said. You'll catch them up even on mil power. So as long as you get a decent intercept vector, you'll find them pretty easily, I'm pretty sure. Especially if you attack them from the side or behind, where there won't be any jammers in the background. I can't guarantee there won't be jammers from the bears and from the badgers, which will obviously smash your radar to pieces. Right, stand by. And welcome to the fight, valued viewers. I've asked the valued viewers to bet their mortgages on who's going to win. Sketch says, China. Jamie, China. Workshop Dave, China. Praetorian says Taiwan. Artie says China. 82 says China. I believe Taiwan. China. Oh, God. China. Taiwan. China. Simba says Simba. Right, of course. I'd say that's probably 80% think that China's going to win. Obviously, what stipulates a win? I would say at least half of the runways blown up. So if more than half of the runways are blown up by the cruise missiles, I would say China wins. If less than half the runways are blown up by the cruise missiles, and I have practiced the cruise missiles, by the way, they do work. If less than half the missile runways are blown up, then I'm going to say Taiwan wins. Cortana's going to get 20 kills, apparently, and Simba's going to put his face into something. I'd agree on both of those. It's pretty accurate, isn't it, guys?
I do have one prediction. Regardless of the geopolitical factors in this, whoever buys and sells the weapons and ammunition is going to be the ultimate winner.
Well, yeah, exactly. There's got a lot of good money coming in. Well, American supply Taiwan with the F-16As, the F-16Vs, and the missiles, as well as France supplies the older planes and the others are indigenous. China builds its own based on Russian plans, as far as I'm aware, plus it builds its own indigenous. So that's that.
I think I am set.
Right, here we go, guys. Probably the best, if it works, the best thing we've ever done. Sorry it's taken so long to get here, but we have to make sure. Here's our guys, just so you know, both in FC. Oh, I forgot to give them Grim Reaper skins. Never mind, they've got Charlie C5, blah, 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 blah. Okay, guys, everything here has been practiced and tested, apart from the human side of it and apart from the J20s, which I shoehorned at the last minute. Everything else does work, so don't worry too much about bugs and stuff. It should be fine. And here we go on 3, 2, 1, go! And we create a black hole. There it goes. It's gone. It's gone, guys. Okay, so far we have a flight of F-16s airborne. And a flight of F-5s airborne from the Taiwanese. The other guys will be up in the next few minutes as they taxi to the runways and whatnot. We can see the Chinese are absolutely punching into the straight maximum speed. Checking my human players. Oh, they're going already. Up you go, guys. Good luck. Cortana's. Oh, look at Cortana showing off in her fancy skin. Good luck.
This is the one you gave me. I just didn't take the time to change it.
I'm going to pretend you're showing off then.
It's very ostentatious.
Yes, it is. Watch out for those wires. Luckily, the Chinese are colorblind, I've heard. Right, here come the J20.
Players be advised, you will have to deal with a single J20. He's 60 miles to 148.
Roger.
J20 supersonic. J10s, in they come. Maximum speed. Absolute death. The bomber squadrons, in they come. Look at that. You would not want that coming towards your island. They mean absolute business. Look at all those Chinese up there. The absolute devil's coaches, the JF-16s.
KD-20s have been launched. Bearing.
KD-20 launched. .30 missiles.
Roger.
Heading for Apatori.
PL-15 launched from J-20 to the south.
Wow. Where from? Where from? Oh, J-20. Right, okay. So immediately the stealth plane has disobeyed orders and is firing at the fighters. This is a problem with DCS. I've told them not to fire at fighters. They are going to fire at fighters. You know, I can only tell him to do stuff. And if he... I mean, amazing. He's firing at over. He's fired at 60 miles, depending who he's going for there. So he's going to be firing on data link, presumably. Distance between fronts now, 40 miles. Okay, the J-16s are already firing over 60 nautical miles. 60 nautical miles with the mighty PL-15.
Okay, still up, Cortana. Bra, 116 for 77. Boot it as fast as you can across that water. The J-20 is currently firing.
It's firing, doing some weird firing as well. PL-15s are being fired from well over the halfway point straight into the F-16s. Oh, J-20 at the top. Okay, well the good thing is the J-20s have got distracted for the fighters, so at least that's going to save the AWACSs.
Vector to inbound missiles.
116 for 69. Be advised, there is a PL-15 tracking you, Simba. It's currently 161 for 21.
PL-15s are raining down. Oh, God, it's so horrible to watch. SD-10s are out. F-16s are getting blown to pieces. And the fight begins.
Simba, notch, right, 90 degrees now. Pull 180.
That's his last missile. If you can beat that, that's his last missile, Simba.
It's within 2 miles.
He's not beating it. He's not beating it. You got to do something, Simba. It's too good. It's too good. Well done! Oh, no. Unlucky. Get another one. He's out of ammo now.
Cortana, 120 for 60.
120 for 60.
Patriots out.
I'm getting a warning that I've been fired on from my left.
Where is she?
SD-10. It's an SD-10 on you. Evade.
Roger.
You're going to beat it. As long as you give it a bit of a right pull, you'll beat it.
Alright, you beat it. Resume course.
Well done.
Roger.
Lucky that wasn't a PL-15. Simba's body just got to Cortana.
Oh, I'm still airborne.
Chinese are hitting mainland.
Cortana, you've got another PL-15 on you from your left.
Roger, I've got eyes on something coming at me here.
You've got 2 J-10s to your front, 18 miles.
Shit.
Roger. I don't think there's going to be anything going for the missiles at this range.
No.
It's just going to be useless. We're just going to get killed.
Yeah. They're too far into the hostiles regime.
Yeah.
All right, not to worry. You've still got lots of time before they even get to the mainland.
Copy. Be advised, Cortana, you've got SD-10s from the J-10s.
Just fight, just dogfight your way out of this. Oh shit, there's a bad SD-10 coming. They're so good, these missiles. Tally Cortana. Yes. I think she's going to beat it. She has beaten it.
Simba, Bra, 117 for 36. Support Cortana. You're not alone out there, Cortana. You've got some AI F-16s to your left. They're shooting
Roger.
very much. Flights being advised, we've got a series of bombers that are heading in very fast. Cortana, from your side, it's 96 for 25.
Roger.
Simba, you are 1112 for 70 to support Cortana.
Good dodge, Cortana. Amazing dodge. Cruise missiles are coming out now. Now's the time to start thinking about intercepting them, I think, Damp, because Cortana's actually behind the red guys in a lot of cases here.
Copy. Cortana, Bra, 102 for 30 cruise missiles.
Oh.
She's down.
You got time. Get in the air.
Simba, Bra, 105 for 41 for missiles.
Too late. SD10 to the face.
Get up again. You've got time, guys. There's plenty of time to do this. The fight is happening so quick. And the Patriots are out of ammo. Oh, one thing we didn't want is the Patriots out of ammo. Hawks are going up. Okay, we've got time, guys. We've got the time. We're smashing their fighters to pieces. Hawks are doing their things. Does anyone know if the AWACSs are up? I can't see any AWACSs up.
They're still up.
Whew. J20's messed up.
Okay, there are 4 flights of inbound bombers. I'm going to vector each person separately. Cortana, 081 for 36 is your first flight. And then your second flight will be directly north of those as you complete that.
Roger.
Simba, your bombs are 109 for 34. Your next bomb flight will be to your direct south, with a spacing of about 18 miles between.
Okay, here we go, guys. Here we go. Let's get those sons of boo. There's only 10 Chinese fighters in the game still. Thread that needle.
Any indications I've been fired on?
It's a duff report.
Cortana, 086 for 18.
Roger.
Where's Simba? Anyone got eyes on Simba? I've lost him. I can't see him. Yes. Damn, get the Simba onto those KD-63s that are coming towards him.
Copy.
Please. Where's Cortana gone?
Simba, Bra, 097 for 25.
Simba, Cortana, you've got a free run. 100 for 10 miles after you've killed this guy. Make a snappy. Okay. 100 for 9 miles. Missiles inbound on the deck. 100. Someone else has just killed that guy, so it's all good. Well, maybe they haven't.
Am I looking for missiles or planes?
Missiles.
Those are missiles.
You've got a free run, Simba. You've got a free run.
Air Angels 2 off the deck. You'll be able to see the clusters from probably miles away.
Cortana, priority is now those missiles. I've lost her. I've lost her.
Shit. I'm gonna have to. For some reason, the radar is no longer actually hot started in the Mirage for me.
Roger.
I'm gonna have to take an F-16, otherwise I'm not gonna be able to fire anything.
Get up, chop chop. We've got time. Okay,
Missiles are 3 miles away from the coast.
Do you see them, Simba? W tanks, and you're merging on your left, Simba. You're merging on your left. 080, 4 miles. 080, 4 miles. Angels 2. I can see. I can't see them from your cockpit, but they're here somewhere.
Yeah, they're
You got
into
them?
the sun from me.
Okay, there. You're now merging with them. Do Yui. They're 400 knots. 400 knots, and start shooting them down. They are on a.
Oh, yep. Just pass over my
All right,
canopy.
get them done. Get them done. Cortana. Where's your priority missiles? It's got to be for...
Cortana 050 for 12. Make that intercept 032.
032.
Copy.
Fox 2.
Cortana, they're Angels 2, about 400 knots.
Flash.
Hold on, Simba. Keep doing it.
Possible eyes on. Sorry, where are they now?
030 for 5.
Fox 2.
Hold on. Keep doing it. Getting tense now.
Cortana, do you see their smoke?
Oh, yeah, affirmative. Yep. Line of 4.
Right, get in there.
Alright, the ones in front of me look to be all gone.
Well done. You got
New
loads
vector.
more.
Okay, you've got 282 for 2.
Alright, all those missiles are down.
Wow. Well done, Cortana.
Oh, except for this one. Oh shit. There's 4 more.
Yeah.
Yep.
You missed your window, Simba. I need you to go vector. 180. Your next targets are 180 now.
Cortana, check here. Cortana, check here.
Intercept 199 for 21.
I don't have eyes on anything else. Oh, I'm seeing hits on a field here.
Copy. There's only one group of bombs that are left, and Simba's intercepting them currently. Cortana, I'm gonna have to back him up.
Yep, I'm going in with 2 sticks and bullets.
Cortana, your intercept is 205 for 35.
205 for 35.
Cortana, as you get closer, I'll guide your eyes.
Roger.
Simba, you are 219 for 10 miles. 10 miles. Do you see their smoke?
Fox 3.
Go on, little missile. Go on, little missile. Chase the other missiles. Oh, god damn it, it's running out of beams.
It's alright. I'm behind them, so I'll be able to bullet what I got left.
Yeah.
Copy,
Alright,
Cortana, new vector, 208 for 20.
I might have eyes on Simba here.
Copy.
Yep, they're right off my nose.
Come on, missile. Come on, missile. Come on, missile. Yes, it's going to hit them. It's going to hit them. Please take the whole lot out. Oh, I only took one out. Keep firing.
And what's the speed of these things?
400.
450.
Roger.
Precise speed 451. They're almost to their target. Cortana, you're within 5 miles.
Simba's
Roger. I
merged.
have eyes on Simba, and I can see his gunfire. I see the missiles.
I'd suggest Fox 3's in the game.
Thinking I have anything other than guns.
You're not believing yet. I need you to believe.
Good, Simba. Simba's wiped out a whole group with guns. Keep doing it, guys.
I can see what I'm up against. I don't believe.
You can do it. You can do it. One man's just wiped the whole group out. Let's keep going. Oh, to
I
have
got
more
2 there.
To have more human players. Well done. Keep punching. They've got small warheads, so we can.
Good job, Cortana. You've got about 10 seconds until they hit their targets.
I'm sorry, Taiwan. Gepards are firing. Yes,
And
Gepards did some really good work. Go on, Gepards.
Alright, good
Go on,
job,
Gepards.
guys. Watch the fireworks.
Some got through. One part of the runway's destroyed. Other parts hit. Well done, guys.
Well, hopefully I don't screw up the runway too bad. I don't have enough gas to go to anywhere else. Oh shit!
Oh.
I think
Land
I'm
on the
gonna be landing
taxiway.
on a taxiway.
Land on the taxiway.
Yeah.
They're cutting the taxiways, but because it wasn't that bad. I programmed to cut all the taxiways, and they've only cut one, and they've eliminated. There is a part of the runway that can be operated from, so that is only 50% destroyed.
Good job, guys.
Land immediately at that base there. Just find a way. All Chinese fighters are destroyed. The bombers have all escaped, and the E3
Top player, Cortana.
AWAC. Oh, the AWACS is on fire as well. And
I never configured my countermeasures, so now I'm not. Something's also wrong. I'm not. I'm going to perform as I should do.
Yell at your crew chief. It's his
Be nice
fault.
to him. Buy him beer.
all right, land Simba. I'm going to go and check the BDA. Tactical runway 1 is cut. That's cut. That's cut. That's cut. Destroyed. Next, tactical runway 2 is cut. Not cut. Cut. Cortana got one group.
In.
And I think tactical runway 2 is still slightly operational. When I say slightly, that is a massive slightly, but that stretch there I think can still be used. I'll say that's 50% destroyed. Good work, Cortana.
Touching down on 28.
Oh, we landed on the runway. In between all the... Watch out, crater. Maximum braking, maximum braking. You're running into a crater. Switch to right side, switch to right side. You got it. You got it, you got it. My eyes. Right. Well done, guys.
Oh yeah, look at that nice.
That's a good finish. If you're going to finish, then yep, fair play. He's going to say that was on purpose now, isn't he? For the chicks. Right, tactical runway 1, tactical runway 2, 50%. Tactical runway 3.
Cortana's out of gas.
I told you I was close to being out of gas and couldn't make it anywhere else.
Tactical runway 3
couldn't even taxi to a hangar.
Fine, but I don't think it was actually targeted. Tactical runway 4. Cut. That runway is out of service. Dang it. Tactical runway 4 lost completely. Tactical runway 5, which is where you guys are at. Not cut there, but they've got enough room to take off. Cut. Not cut. That's 50% operational. They can taxi via whatever that is, Bravo or Charlie, and take off in that step there. Just. So well done for saving that runway, guys. That's a 50%. And finally, this one here, I get the feeling I didn't... Oh, I did... No, I can't remember if I targeted this or not. I didn't. I targeted 4 bases. Is not cut at all. So, well done, guys. Although that was ugly as F, of the 4 base targeted, 2 are destroyed completely, 2 are 50% operational. In terms of our fighters, I mean, we had more than twice as many fighters as them, so we won with the help of the SAMs. In terms of the fighters, we destroyed all of their fighters because they all charged in and suicided, and we lost about 50% of ours. About 40 planes went down, but it's okay. The bombers all survived. I know they're all getting shot down now, but that's the end of the sim. I didn't tell them to go any further. So the bombers all survived, and they're amazingly, the AWACS is on fire as we speak, but it's technically survived. Who won? It's literally a draw. No, hang on. What did I say? I said if we
saved half the runways.
If it said half the runways, it's pretty much a draw. You saved half the runways. Of the 4 that were attacked, you saved 2, which was amazing, to be honest. So it's 50-50. Essentially makes it a draw. You can operate, but at a reduced load for day 2, which is just how it is. Like I said, you lost 40 fighters, but you know you've got another 200 in stock. Guys, the last thing to do, because that happened so quick. I don't know if you noticed, but for my first time in my life, I was very quiet. Because I didn't, this when you got this much. Why don't we quickly look at if you've all got 5 minutes, just look at the Tacview file. Let's go through and just have a look at roughly. So everything on the Chinese worked, apart from the J-20s. Annoyingly, they refused to follow orders. They felt themselves in threat, even though they weren't at all, and they started firing at random stuff. Nothing I could do about that. I did everything in my power as a mission maker to prevent them firing at Blues and only fire the AWACS. So that was a them problem. So massive let off the hook there. We did not lose our AWACS. An immediate shot there of the power of the PL-15. This guy's shooting guys at 70 miles or something like that, basically. And it's going into orbit, 70,000 feet, and diving down on them. I mean, it's just ridiculous. Same with him. TWS, 4 PL-15s in. I mean, look, PL-15s are coming out at 32 minutes and 30 from the Chinese coast, 73 miles. They're being fired on data link at 73 miles at F-16s. That's how ridiculously unfair this fight was. Pushing in. Massive. At this point, we're in the range of medium-range missiles. SE-10s are coming out, slightly superior to AMRAAMs in terms of range, at least in DCS. AMRAAM C5s are coming out in response. Simba merges with a Mighty Dragon. And then it's just one giant Charlie Foxtrot. I mean, there's no way of analysing that. It's just a giant Charlie Foxtrot. Every man for themselves, pretty much at that point. Guys just dying and dying and dying. How many missiles are in the air? PL-15s must be 40 PL-15s in the air. And maybe 10 AMRAAMs in the air. That's how kind of unfair the fight was. However, Blues did win the air fight, remember. Obviously, because of the SAM network. We were fighting the SAM network. When they were close enough, the SAMs started coming out. Okay, here come the SAMs, the MIM-104s. These are Patriot missiles. Very good missiles. They've got about 70 nautical mile range. So they'll reach out into the middle of the Taiwan Strait, as they're doing now. And it's going to cause, although the whole front of the Taiwanese at the front have been wiped out, it's given, they've sort of held them up a bit. Now it's just a giant wave. KD-20s are out from 150 miles away, as we saw. PL-15s, these were fired all the way back at the beginning of the mission, and they're finally arriving on target, because most of the time's done on ramjet cruise and dive terminal. These ones have gone weird. Look, the PL-15s have gone up to space for some reason, but whatever. And the Reds at this point look like they're winning because they've pushed blue all the way back within the confines of Taiwan. Remember, Taiwan is whoop, around there and around there. But the power of the SAM network is about to come into play here because of how many Patriots are coming out. And now we've got a much better mix. About as many blue missiles in the air as red, and that's because of the SAMs. The AMRAAMs just aren't good enough, and the planes, but the SAMs are equaling it out. PL-15s have reached from China and touching down in Taiwan. So these PL-15s will fire back here, and now touching down in Taiwan. Unsure if they've got lock-on after launch ability or not, so I'm not going to guess. Okay, the last big barrage of PL-15s, remember they're a limited number, are now reaching down. So they're now back to normal weapons. SD-10s, AMRAAM equivalent. KD-63s are out. Cortana's unfortunately ran into a wall of J-10s. And a fair play for the J-10s. They saw Cortana coming for the missiles, and they sent 2 to flank her, which is good play by the Chinese. Again, last PL-15s now touching down in Taiwan. I mean, if I had a count... Guys, is there a count of how many people have died? I don't think there is there, annoyingly? I'd love to see a basic score. How many blues are dead? How many red are dead? Now, look at this point. Here's the turning point, valued viewers. The PL-15s have all gone. The last ones are just surfing in at 300 knots. It's now even Stevens. It's now AMRAAMs versus SD-10s. That technology is equal. Medium-range Fox 3 missiles. And we're dragging them into the SAMnet over the Taiwanese. Would they do that in real life? I don't know, but I can't stop them doing it. You know, if they're going to engage at this point, I make them cap. I can't stop them doing it. So they're going to go in. They're going to fight to the death. That's their problem. Now look at this point. 37 minutes and 48 is now the majority AMRAAMs. So the blues have now really got their butts in gear. And they can start fighting back. They've not been pushed away by the PL-15s. Now, 80% of missiles are now blue. The tide is turning. Lovely flanking attack by this guy here, of his own accord, to come and take these K-10s out. And he's an AI, so good on him. Unfortunately, these guys have spotted it, and a loose element has put a PL-12 in. So it's going to be nullified. There is our AWACS. Oh, look, the PL-12 on an AWACS there. If you see that, an E2 Hawkeye is about to get hit by an AWACS. And he missed. Ha-ha! Oh, we lost an AWACS. So one of their 7 E2s is now gone. What we need is someone very clever out there to analyse this Tacview file, which I'll make public, and apply the losses of planes and technology to the inventory, a real-life inventory of China and Taiwan. 90% of missiles are now Taiwan. We're at 39 minutes. And I think we started 9 minutes ago. I think we started at 30 minutes in. So after 9 minutes of battle, which is the blink of an eye, probably 100 men are dead. Probably 1,000 missiles have been fired. The bombers have turned away and they've gone. It's now polishing off the last J16s and stuff that have survived. Obviously getting absolutely peppered. Yep. So by 10 minutes in, 11 minutes in, everyone's dead apart from 2 fighters, which at this point they may even be bugged or something because of the massive fight that's been going on. And it's just about the missiles. So now we get Simba and Cortana through that massive melee. There's Simba. He's located the first set via GCI damp. Starts shooting them down. Zap, 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 zap. Kills half of them with the help of Cortana. Saves that base. Cortana gets these ones on her own. Kills half of them. Saves that base just literally by the skin of their teeth. So you guys are welcome to run this back at your own pace and watch everything. There's Cortana nailing them. There's Simba nailing them. Then, both Simba and Cortana, who are still alive, switch to this set here. I didn't realise they were going after a separate set. That's good. Simba starts attacking. These guys are chasing the Chinese back into China. Because they can. In real life, they wouldn't catch up because these guys would get within the Chinese SAM network. So you can just ignore these guys at this point. Well, interestingly, the AWACS didn't get out of dodge quick enough, look, and was shot. Did get shot. Look at that. Did get shot by a fighter. Look at that. So that's a damaged AWACS. It's not serviceable for at least a few weeks. And that's it, guys. That was, I don't know what it was like for you guys, probably just pure hectic and probably pure hell. But from a spectator sport, that was about as good as it gets, really. We saw everything in that there, and it was really interesting and amazing. After all of that, it came out as a draw. What are the chances? Let's have final thoughts. Anything you want from Cortana?
I don't really have anything. Makes me want the Mirage 2000-5 though.
Yeah, you did need a bit. Yeah, you did a bit more firepower, didn't you? What you really need, I don't know what you need. You need,
I mean, jammers, bunch of different layers would have been
Roger.
nice for us to have.
Yeah, it's fair play. Damp. Thoughts on future anything? What's in your mind?
First off, I wanted to say that I really believe that the retiring of the Tomcat is a mistake, and this is the perfect example of why.
We had nothing to fight against those PL-15s. Just to be clear, we had nothing to fight against those PL-15s, as in real life.
Secondly, this kind of saturation attack is really difficult to counter in the first place. If I, like me from a GCI standpoint, I would have had a much easier time if I could vector other fighters to be able to help Cortana and Simba. But instead, I was just watching on map, and I see like 5 blue fighters chasing one J-15 or J-11. And I'm like, I wish I could control you. I wish I could tell you where your target is.
Yeah.
If I had comms with the AI, or if they weren't AI, I believe that this would have been much better in the Taiwanese field.
Plus, you'd also probably split the workload between like 10 GCIs as well.
Exactly.
On the plus side, without Damp's GCI work, there was zero chance that the day would have been saved, because we wouldn't have got Cortana onto the back of a bunch and Simba onto the back of a bunch of cruise missiles, which, let's face it, is not an easy thing to do. Bearing in mind, Cortana and Simba couldn't see that map, by the way. If you're thinking they could see it, they couldn't see anything. They were completely reliant on verbal calls from Damp, which shows how well the hookup was there. Which is great, and obviously you were used to working together and whatnot. There was one thing that Damp said to me as well. He said, after this first strike, how long would it take for CSG-21 or a US carrier group, assuming they're in the middle of the South China Sea, how long would it take them to steam to Taiwan? If anyone out there knows how long from the, let's say, the center of the South China Sea, how long it would take a flank speed nuclear powered carrier group to get here, let me know. That would be an interesting feedback, bit of feedback. Simba, off you go.
Hey, Cap.
Yes.
Pull up your analysis on the Tacview.
What does that mean?
And then click on active objective. It's the
I'm there.
like the piece of paper.
On there.
One more, yeah. Yep. Now click
list.
active objects. And that'll tell you what was alive and what's
wow,
dead.
look at that. Okay, valued viewers. So that is the strike group from China. Basically, the bombers are alive. The fighters are all shot down. That is the defensive group. F-16s, F-5, all the F-5s pretty much gone. F-16s, a massive dent in them. Probably 60% of the F-16 shot down. 80% of the F-5 shot down. 50% of the E-2 shot down. Mirages, almost none shot down, but by the time they got into battle from the other side of the island, they'd only just arrived. And no ground units shot, because obviously nothing was targeted. So, well done, Simba. And your quick debrief notes?
Nope, nothing to add.
Nothing to add. I hope you
I do have one.
send Damp.
Okay, I've just got one question for Cortana and Simba. When you guys were going nape the earth, follow the coast, was that effective terrain masking for you guys?
It seemed to work for me, at least initially, but as their fighters got closer, it stopped working because there just isn't enough terrain. So like I couldn't effectively mask, and once you get past a certain point on the coast, it seems to be more sort of like rural. So like there aren't buildings you can hide behind either.
Gotcha. Yeah, I'll
Once I
remember
went
that.
feet wet, it was pretty much nothing.
Yeah, once I was feet wet, I just never stopped jinking. So Still didn't help me.
Watch you guys. Fair enough. Right, I hope you enjoyed that, guys. That was a lot of time setting that up and getting that working, but in the end we just got it working, and I'm, to be honest, super chuffed. Well done, pilots, for putting your all into it. Well done, Damp. And we'll see you guys later. And cut. Wow, that was exhausting in every way possible, guys.